Hello, you're very welcome to the Arrivo Farm Profitability Programme channel. Today we're talking on our Get Out There campaign, where we're trying to get more fertiliser and more cows out this spring. So today I'm just going to go through a little bit on off grazing and allocating area for cows going out. Okay, so we're talking about our 70 cow herd using an average, eating about 6 kilos of grass. Okay, so cows will not be eating just as much at this time of the year, particularly if you have freshly calved cows. Their appetite won't be as large. But for yourselves, adjust these figures according to what you're doing. So you might have 20 cows, you might have more than this. Okay, so just change them accordingly. So my 70 cows and my 6 kilos of grass, I need to work out my demand. So that works out at 70 cows multiplied by 6 is 420 kilos of dry matter. Okay, so we know our demand. Now we need to work out what our supply is. Our supply is an average paddock, so just ideal for grazing, or some might think just barely ready for grazing, at 1200 kilo of dry matter in grass. And this is a paddock of about 1.35 hectares. So for a 70 cow herd, it's probably about an average paddock size. What we're looking at here is multiplying these two, and that works out at 1,620 kilos of dry matter in that paddock. Okay, so we know our demand is 420 kilos and our supply is 1,620 kilos. So what area do we require? So again, we're taking our supply and we have our demand and we're dividing those two. That works out around 3.86 or around 4 grazings. So what we need to do is divide our paddock of 1.35 hectares into 4. So here we have an example of the paddock, 1.35 hectares, roughly about 90 metres wide and 150 metres long. We're looking for fairly square areas to try and avoid as much damage as possible. So what we don't want to see are really long, narrow paddocks, because the cows will walk up and down them and damage the ground. We're trying to get square paddocks. If we only have one roadway going along the bottom, then we might need to go in with a little temporary road to get into the back of these paddocks. Water is not as big of a requirement when the cows are only out for 3 hours. So each of these squares is just for a 3-hour grazing, but each time the cows are going onto fresh grass. Thank you for watching, and talk again soon.